All right, Coach, if you could just give us a quick opening statement on your team's performance from last week and what you expect out of another tough rivalry game this week.
Yeah, I mean, all the games we play are tough. They're not easy, especially when you're playing a team like this who's going to, be a playoff caliber football team. So we'll have to play awfully well. Last week, obviously offensively we did some really good things, and obviously the coaches had some things we need to improve on, but scored points, and that was good. Defensively, did not have a great game, and played a little better in the second half at times, but not to where our standards. We did score on defense, which was nice. Blocked that extra point or field goal, took it back for a touchdown. But all in all, we stopped them when we had to, but we weren't very very good last week. So a lot of things we are really working hard on with our players. But I think slowly they'll get better at it. It's just tackling is one of them. We didn't tackle very well in that game. That's the essence of playing defensive football. First, get off a block. Second is a tackle, and if you can't tackle, you can't play this game on defense. So we'll be hopefully better on Saturday night. But kicking wise, thought we kicked the ball pretty well. We punted really very well. Our punter got the Player of the Week award, which he deserved. He had a good day for a young guy. I thought Ian kicked the ball well, especially he kicked it off well. He kicked one out of bounds at the end, but he had scored a lot of points for us, but missed a chip shot. But that wasn't his fault. Laces were out on the ball, and that can't happen. So just little things that we have to continue to improve, and there's a lot to work on still. And we're getting closer, but not quite there yet.
Question for Coach.
What about having that 2014 team back and being a part of that, and how big that is for your program?
It's huge in that fact we're trying to establish a tradition, traditionally good football program, and that arguably is the greatest team in our school's history, and they deserve that recognition, and it's good to have them back. It's hard to believe it's been 10 years, and they've they had a great run to the national championship game, came up about 38 seconds short, but set a high standard to follow, and been chasing it ever since. So really good, been excited to see those guys, and I see some of them because my son Brent was on that team, and a lot of those guys are his friends. I see occasionally, but be fun to see them all back, and most of them back anyways. Here for the game. I think they're coming out to practice on Friday, and then I go up to press box for a reception Friday night, and then the game on Saturday. So it'll be fun. It means a lot.
Coach, it appeared your offensive line once again was very, very effective. I don't know, when you actually watch the film, you probably see a lot of things we don't see, but it sure seemed to be doing a good job.
I thought they played pretty well in the most part. I think they can play better, and I think Coach Etheridge thinks that as well. That they're getting better, but they weren't obviously perfect Saturday. But there's some things we can do a lot better for sure. But seemed to protect the quarterback really well. Didn't give up a sack, and of course the quarterback's mobility, and then both quarterbacks do a good job of one can run really well. One has a very good time clock in his head. When to get rid of the football, he has or when to scramble. He's got very good timing, so. Both guys did a good job of staying out of harm's way, and if the protection did break down, they moved and got themselves out of trouble. So, that was good. There's a lot of things we can get better at still. And we'll keep working on those.
All the injuries you've had so far this season, are there certain guys who've really stood out to you that have stepped into those spots and filled out? I mean, Winkers is one that comes to mind, but other guys that may not draw the attention.
Winker's right. He's done very well. I think he's played well. I think our inside linebackers have done a nice job. Ty has not been healthy. He's been kind of laboring. He's much better. Ty's getting better, but as you know, he hasn't started a game yet. so I'm surprised anybody hasn't brought that up. But he has not started a game yet, and he's a national freshman of the year. So we're limiting his reps, but he's playing more and more every week, and this will be, I think, the best week he's had so far. looked very close to being 100%. But I think some of those inside line by Darius Walker's done a nice job. He's a good football player, and it's good to see. You know, Darius has been around a while, and he's a senior, and he's going to graduate and move on with life. But he's a really good kid. He's from East St. Louis, and good person, and hard worker, and he's never had any. I've never been on my plate for any issues, and he's been nothing but a good representative of our football program, and he's playing well. And so far, hopefully, I hope I don't jinx him, but he's done a nice job, and so that's one for sure. You know, the Johnson kid, our transfer from actually he's from Glenbard West, but high school up in South Side Chicago. But he's West Side, I guess, western suburbs, southwest suburbs. But he's done a very nice job. Thought he was been good. You know, a guy I think that we weren't counting on being a starter coming in. We thought he'd be a good rotational player, and is Landon Woodard. And Landon's played, I think, pretty well, and it's getting better. So that's been really good. So those are a couple names that have come to mind. You know, we played the freshman running back. You know, in the game Saturday, he did some really nice things. And we know he's a good player. It just depends on how we stay in. Can we stay in one piece where we can kind of protect his redshirt year? But we're into winning games, and he will do everything we ask him to do. So we don't have to quite make that decision yet. We've only got one game in, so we got 3 more to play with, and then the playoffs if we're so lucky to get in them. So we'll see. We'll see what he does. But really like him, and Josh Robinson has played well. I thought Josh, the defensive staff, they call him the angry runner, and he runs angry. It's really a really good term because he's a pretty good kid and hard worker. He's from Bolingbrook, right? Bolingbrook, yeah, and is a very good, tough kid and hard worker and typical Chicago tough guy, and really like the way he runs. So those young backs have done a good job. I like them both. And, obviously Dylan Lord was a real surprise with Eddie, but he's out for the season, unfortunately. And he was playing very well. He will have surgery tomorrow and get that lower leg fixed. So get him back hopefully in the spring. But he's been playing very well, like him. Eddie's back in practice now. I don't know if he's going to be cleared to play this week, but he's practicing in a black jersey, so no one will touch him. But mono's a dangerous deal with football because of contact and spleen being enlarged. So got to be very careful with that. So
I saw that with South Dakota whooping cough at Portland State.
Yeah.
That's not one many people had on their bingo card.
Yeah, I don't quite get that, but we can all guess why that happened.
But it shows the precautions you have to take.
Right.
Potentially contagious disease.
I know it's bad, isn't it? But it's true. Yeah, it's a fact. All right. Anyways, yeah, those are weird things that happen, and life's life, and you gotta. No one, and nothing in life doesn't stop because it's football season, And fortunately, some of those things happen, but it is what it is. But those are names that come to mind. Trying to think anybody else. We've had a couple of good young D linemen that are starting to play better. But they're going to be a work in progress, and as the season goes on, it gets to more of a grind, and sometimes they slow down just a tad. But it's our job to try to take the grinding reps off of them somewhere in practice and try to get them to game where they feel better. So, but right now it's a little too early for that. We're still in preseason basically.
What challenges does the Eastern offense present?
First of all, the quarterback is excellent. He's got a very strong arm. He makes all the throws. He's a very competitive kid. He can scramble. He scrambles to throw. Which is always kind of a dangerous thing. He led his team to a comeback win against us last year. I think they won 6 out of 8 games were late in the game. So it's something that tells me that he's a very good leader and understands their offense. So it all starts with him. He's a very good player. I think they're very much improved in the offensive line. Been impressed with their front. They have a couple backs. They have a really good back, and I like their backs a lot. Receivers are very good. I like them. And they're salty on defense. You know, Chris is a defensive guy, and I recruited Chris there. He's a tough kid, and that's what I expect. And that's kind of Eastern's MO, anyways. They've always been a very good defensive football team, and this team's no different. So they play with a lot of effort, and but you asked about offense, didn't you? But I think their quarterback starts with a quarterback. Quarterback's a really good player. Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got good quarterbacks anymore, Coach. Get back to next kid Saturday was damn good.
It's hard to play without one, you know. It really is, and fortunately, we got a couple that I think they're pretty good, so that helps. But yeah, you got to. Coach Tiller used to tell us, you can't be short there. Yeah, you got to have a couple arms in the bullpen, and you can't be caught short at quarterback. And the game is so quarterback driven now, and people throw the football well, and they know how to throw it, and everybody has explosive players, and you're gonna have to keep them under wraps. Try to prevent those things from happening in games, which is very difficult for defensive coaches and defensive players because there are so many good athletes over there on offense now. But good questions.
It's another team that's faced 2 FBS teams already in the season, like last week with Western.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's I'm like a lot of us are trying to pay their bills. You know, it's expensive, and you'll probably take those games on to try to help with athletic departments and football programs. It's difficult, and but yeah, not the first team we've seen. Probably won't be the last that has done that. Yeah. With the playoffs going into a direction that's going with FBS, I don't know how much longer you're going to see that, you know. Yeah. And for some reason, we don't get paid the same amount to play those teams as a MAC school or from the Group of 5 does. You know, I don't quite understand that, but that's the market. But our guys are just as important as their guys, I think. And why is they valued higher than us? I don't quite get that, but I guess it's because of the consideration for the playoffs, I guess. But who knows? Good questions?
Thank you.
All right, you bet.
Good luck, Coach.
Yep.